Many of you probably know that one game that has taken the internet by a storm over the last few weeks is Abandoned from Blue Box Studios, and there's this whole conspiracy that this indie studio is actually Kojima in disguise and that he's actually trying to reveal Silent Hill by employing some of the marketing schemes like he's done in the past with Phantom Pain or Silent Hills. And some of the coincidences are kind of insane. You know, Hasan Kahraman has the same initials as Hideo Kojima, and Kahraman, if you translate it from Turkish to Japanese, it translates to Hideo. Both words mean hero. A lot of people connected that to Joachim Mogren, who was this fake CEO of the fake Moby Dick Studios company, and Joachim was an anagram for Kojima, and people are thinking Kahraman equals Hideo is like a similar type of thing. The studio's logo, Blue Box, looks a whole lot like an inverted version of the PlayStation Studios logo. Jeff Keighley seemed to be playing coy in this Twitter video he uploaded answering questions about the Blue Box conspiracy. Blue Box is said to be based in the Netherlands, and a lot of people made the connection that Kojima has close ties to Dutch studio Guerrilla as they collaborated on the Decima game engine. Blue Box apparently was founded on August 12, 2015, which happens to be exactly 1 year after PT's August 12, 2014 release. Kahraman can be found as a verified developer on PlayStation Network with the username Sneaky Warrior, which some people are thinking maybe it's a reference to Snake, and he played a game that doesn't exist. And that game has an image of Siren Head on it, which Junji Ito recently reacted to. Junji Ito being someone who was a partner, or was to partner with Kojima on Silent Hills before its cancellation, and a lot more. All of that detailed in my last video. There's just too much to go over in a recap. But it's hard to deny that some of the coincidences are pretty insane. But I do want to once again remind you that this world is full of crazy coincidences. Do not be shocked if it turns out that this whole conspiracy isn't real. There's a very likely possibility that that's the case. Treat this as fun and games. Do not, harass the potentially indie developers at Blue Box over it. I'll remind you that there was a time when this doctor right here, that head transplant doctor, was connected to this character in Metal Gear Solid 5 because they literally look identical. Turned out there was no connection whatsoever, and this guy actually, I think, tried to take legal action against Kojima and Konami because he believed that his likeness was intentionally used when it just turned out to be a huge coincidence. Alright, so with all that out of the way, I'd like to talk to you about some of the latest developments surrounding this conspiracy and how Blue Box has reacted and responded to all of this. Back in June of 2015, you may recall that Blue Box published this tweet: "We wanted to set things straight. We have no relations with Konami. Silent Hill is owned by Konami. We do not have any relations with Hideo Kojima. It was never our intention to tease the name as Silent Hill. We sincerely apologize for this," referring to a tweet where they said abandoned equals first letter S, last letter L, which a lot of people made the connection of, oh, Silent Hill. Clearly, they're trying to hint at that, but apparently Blue Box claims they're trying to hint at the word survival, and they've since been trying to respond to as many people as possible and really try to convince them that, we don't blame you for believing we were teasing Silent Hill. That wasn't our intention. That's our bad. And really trying to convince people and actually commenting on as much as possible to try to clarify things and really drive the point that they are just an indie studio who saw just theories blow up in their faces. They once again echo this on June 21st, 2021 with this tweet: "We wanted to answer the rumors one last time. We're a small indie studio with actual real people working on a passionate game. We want to do a live stream with a Q&A in where you can ask all of your questions to clarify every confusion and rumors. We just want to set expectations." And once again, Blue Box did their best to reply to as many people as possible who are asking, well, what about this and what about that? And, all they're saying essentially is either it's just a coincidence or, it just came across in a way that we didn't intend. Silent Hill is a Konami IP. We have no relations to that IP. We're not working with Konami. They insisted that there's no relation to Kojima, the HK initials being the same, Hasan, Kahraman, and Hideo Kojima, how that's just a coincidence. How Kahraman being Hideo from Turkish to Japanese, they're saying that's just a coincidence. So the fact that they're responding this much, certainly seems like they're really trying to drive the point that this isn't some grand conspiracy. And then beyond that, Hasan actually revealed his face and posted this Twitter video, and this is the same face that you can find on Hasan Kahraman if you look him up on the PlayStation Network, who is a verified developer, if you look him up, as I highlighted in my previous video. But this is what he had to say about the rumors and speculation.
Hello everyone, this is Hasan Kahraman. Just wanted to do a really quick video just to show myself that I'm a real person. And yeah, I'm not really associated with Hideo Kojima. Not an actor. Not working on Silent Hill. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys my face and that I'm real. And hopefully we'll do a QA very soon. Just have to figure out when it would be, and then we'll talk more. All right, everyone, have a good one.
Man, this guy looks exhausted from all the conspiracy theories that are propping his game up on a pedestal that isn't representative of what this game will turn out to be, at least based on what Hasan is claiming. And I'll be honest with you, with this message, I am more convinced that this really isn't a Hideo Kojima game or is related to Silent Hill. I'm more inclined to believe this is actually just an indie studio. And I know Kojima's done stuff in the past where he hired an actor to pretend like he's the CEO. You'll recall this interview between Joachim Mogren and Jeff Keighley, where it was clearly set up as a teaser for what's to come, and Jeff Keighley kind of played along with this. But in the case of this Joachim Mogren ploy, it was very apparent that this was a skit. You know, it was very obvious that they were playing us, that they were just screwing with us. It had a very playful quality to it, whereas Hasan's video, he just looks tired, and he's very direct about what he's saying about how we're not related to Kojima. I'm not working on Silent Hill, whereas Joachim Mogren kept things a lot more vague. Like you'll see right here, Joachim Mogren responded to everything by basically saying, I can't say anything, no comment. It was his response.
Oh, Keighley, is this a current gen game? Is it next gen? Is this a PlayStation 4 game?
Unfortunately, I cannot confirm that.
Okay, can you maybe confirm that you guys have development kits at least for next generation systems?
I'm so sorry, Jeff. I can unfortunately not confirm that either.
How do I not know this is some elaborate ruse?
Well, unfortunately, I cannot show too much, but for you, Jeff, I can show you some new images.
I notice there's a Fox Engine logo in the corner, so this game is running on the Fox Engine.
So, yeah. You can see how obvious this skit, this ploy was, and people discovered, you know, the words Metal Gear Solid 5 fit right into Phantom Pain. There were many obvious clues, but at no point did Joachim Mogren ever say something along the lines of, we're not related to Kojima, we're not related to the Metal Gear IP, whereas Hasan is being very upfront about that. And when it comes to Kojima ploys, he never comments this directly. He always kind of keeps the audience guessing. Kojima stays quiet and plans things out. At one point, Blue Box even deleted one of their tweets, the tweet that actually started everything, abandon equals first letter S, last letter L. You cannot find this tweet anymore. I don't think Kojima would ever do that because he would have these clues planned out and he would commit to them. So the fact that they deleted this tweet, I think it's maybe an indie studio trying to undo the potential PR storm that they've kind of generated as a result of this tweet that got people theorizing. Now, something that people are pointing to as evidence is, well, Moby Dick Studios, if you recall on Twitter, posted this: our new game Phantom Pain is so original, we don't understand all of the comparisons to Metal Gear Solid. Does Metal Gear Solid have flying whales on fire? Nope. People are pointing to this and saying, see, even Moby Dick Studios at one point denied their relation to Metal Gear. Who's to say that, Hasan isn't doing the same, working for Kojima? Now, what a lot of people don't seem to know is that this Moby Dick Studios Twitter account is actually fake and has zero ties to the marketing campaign of Metal Gear Solid 5. It has no ties to Kojima or Konami. This is just some fan-made account that was created to just screw with people while the phantom pain, conspiracy theory stuff was happening. So yeah, the more I look into this and the more I see how Blue Box is responding and reacting, the more I get the sense that this really isn't going to be tied to Kojima in any way, shape, or form, though this whole situation is still very strange. Like, for example, just today, it was announced that the abandoned trailer app, whatever that means, like, that's never been done before with a PlayStation exclusive, and it was initially supposed to come out on June 20th. It was then delayed to June 22nd, though this tweet has since been deleted. And then after that, it was delayed to Friday the 25th, which, if you look at your calendar, is today as of the publishing of this video, if you're watching this video on July 25th. But at the very last minute, on the day this trailer app was supposed to come out, Hasan announced that the app would be delayed further to August 2021. Here's what he said.
Hello everyone, I'm Hasan from Blue Box Game Studios, the game director for Abandoned. The last 2 weeks was really stressful to us. The team is very tired. We were hoping to release the app today, and I know that a lot of you have been looking forward to it, so thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. However, I've decided to delay the app until August. That is when the first trailer will also be released. We just wanted to give you a solid first impression of the game. Right now, the app isn't quite there yet. We just wanted to have it meet our own expectations first. There were also last-minute bugs that we had to deal with. The localization isn't fully completed yet. So yeah, I hope you understand. I'm sorry for this. And yeah, thank you for your support.
So once again, this guy just looks exhausted, stressed, fatigued from everything that's been happening. Now, delaying something on the day it was supposed to release is not a good look, but, you know, if this is an indie dev and if their intention truly is just to make sure the app works and it's in the best state possible before it's released, I'm all for them delaying and supporting that developers take their time with their products and whatnot. I'm all for that, but, you know, something that a lot of people are pointing to now is that this app got delayed to August, and this happens to match up with the fact that PT released on August of 2014, so that has fueled additional conspiracy theories. The fact of the matter is that, man, Blue Box's communication, I think, is just continuously fueling these theories because of how cryptic they're being about the nature of their studio, the nature of their partnership with Sony, who've been very quiet about all of this, the fact that there's this app at all, an app for a marketing campaign and a trailer app, again, something that's never been done before. There's all this stuff happening, and there's just so little information about Blue Box, about the team, about the project, and they're keeping things so cryptic still that, you know, I kind of get why theories are only, you know, spreading and being fueled more and more. If this is an indie studio, it really does look like they got in way over their heads. This whole marketing campaign blew up in a way that they weren't expecting. And then fueling theories further is this announcement from Blue Box Game Studios, a message from Noir. Noir, for those who don't know, is a team of professional artists driven by the pursuit of quality and perfection in art. We're concept artists, 3D modelers, illustrators, animators, as well as enthusiasts and perfectionists. So they are an art studio, and this is the announcement that was shared.
Hello everybody, my name is Leo Yanin and I'm a founder of Noir Studio. It's nice to meet you. Recently Hasan asked us to film a short introduction video about Noir to explain about our role, how we are involved into the project, that we are all real people with names, that we are working hard to bring you the best possible experience. So here we are, let's jump in. Noir is a company of more than 70 game industry professionals working hard on different AAA titles, as well as great companies, the part of which you can find on our website. And our goal as a company is to create the best possible art assets for our partners. No need to say that we are very excited to work with our friends from Blue Box Studios on their new game project. So here's that. Thank you again. Later.
So it was once again emphasized that this is a real studio with real people. Now what's raising a lot of eyebrows is Noir's portfolio. You can see right here, if you go to the list of projects that they've worked on, it's all major AAA stuff. Marvel's Avengers, Halo Infinite, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us Part 2, Death Stranding, a lot of Sony first-party stuff, among many other major AAA franchises and games that are prominent in the games industry. So the question that everyone's now asking is, how did this small studio that seemingly came out of nowhere is all of a sudden working with one of the most renowned team of artists, these folks at Noir who have worked on all of these major AAA projects? How have they gone from releasing very low budgets like this mobile game, The Whisper, a paranormal investigation game, and then have suddenly gone to become a PlayStation 5 exclusive developer? Even stranger is the fact that apparently the trailer for Abandoned wasn't even unique assets, but rather something created using the procedural forest element in the Unreal Engine marketplace. And a response from a Twitter user reads as follows: they've addressed why this has happened already. They used this for the trailer because they needed something quick. They outright said the game hasn't been shown. They never claimed this as their own work. They did. You can see in the trailer here that the Blue Box Game Studios logo is shown, and the trailer starts playing. And again, I don't know if this is really just Unreal Engine marketplace stuff, but Blue Box did advertise that the game is being developed on Unreal Engine, which is another, I think, red flag. If this were a Kojima game, I don't think he would use Unreal. He'd probably use Decima. But yeah, it's currently being advertised as an Unreal game, and people apparently are finding the connection that this Unreal Engine 4 forest asset looks a hell lot like what was shown in the Abandoned trailer. And only showing Unreal Engine 4 marketplace assets in their announcement trailer and passing it off as, in-engine footage as potentially a glimpse of the game, it's very strange to do this, and this is layered on top of the fact that this is a small indie studio that came out of nowhere and that is suddenly getting all this backing from PlayStation as a PS5 exclusive and as a game that has been outsourced to this prominent, artist team, Noir, that has worked on all of these AAA games. It's just a very bizarre set of circumstances. It could very well be that Sony scouted out some indie studios. They saw a lot of potential in what Blue Box was working on, secured an exclusivity deal, and supported them maybe financially and by connecting them to Noir here. Maybe that's what ultimately happened. If this all somehow turns out to be a Kojima ruse, it is quite the extensive and elaborate ruse. And then on the other hand, if this really is just an indie studio trying to promote their game, this is some of the most bizarre methodologies of marketing a game that I've ever seen. And these are just very strange circumstances. And hopefully we'll find out more on, I guess, in August, why there's so much secrecy and so much just vagueness and crypticness surrounding all of this. A crypticness that is inspiring a lot of this conspiracy theorizing. One last thing I'd like to note is that Jason Schreier did actually manage to get a hold of Hasan and actually did an interview with him. But before we get to that, here's a tweet from investigative reporter Jason Schreier, who said this, referring to the video where Hasan announced that the trailer app for Abandoned would be delayed to August. Seems pretty clear that this isn't some grand conspiracy. It's a guy who promised too much, got more attention than he ever thought he would, thanks to a string of wild coincidences, and is now in way over his head. And by promises, he's referring to this PlayStation blog where it advertises that this game is the cinematic first-person horror survival shooter set in a highly detailed open-world environment and favors a realistic approach to survival, and they make all of these grand promises. But a few days prior to today's tweet, Jason Schreier said this: "New, all evidence suggests that Hasan Kahraman, the man whose game fans suspect maybe a Hideo Kojima conspiracy, is a real indie developer, but after an hour-long interview with him today, I left with more questions than answers. Is Kahraman a real indie developer? Almost certainly, but I was left wondering who else works at his studio, what kind of contract he signed with Sony, and who his mysterious funders are, and how a little-known studio plans to make a game with realistic graphics at 4K 60 FPS, which is indeed something that was advertised in one of Blue Box's tweets. The ultimate question, is this secretly a Hideo Kojima production, or an indie developer who promised the world, got caught up in the whirlwind of coincidence coincidences and conspiracies, and may now be scrambling to figure out what to do next. I'll be honest with you, at this stage, I am more inclined to believe in the latter, though I guess it'll be up to each individual to make up their own minds. In the interview itself, Hasan insisted that his game has no connection to Kojima, his studio consists of a network of friends, and he is a trained game developer, not an actor. He said, "It is not common for a Kojima ruse to reach out to someone like Jason Schreier and try to set the record straight." Again, Kojima employees don't try to set the record straight. They just keep dropping those hints and let people run wild with that stuff is usually how that works. The article then says that Kahraman having no connections to Kojima is further corroborated by the fact that Kahraman has regularly posted for the last 3 months on a forum for Unreal Engine game developers, answering questions and responding to others, according to screenshots shared with Bloomberg by a game developer unrelated to any of this who asked not to be identified because the forum is private. Now, one thing that eludes me is why Sony hasn't responded to a request for comment, why Jeff Keighley hasn't responded to a request for comment, why Kojima Productions hasn't gone out of its way to say, hey, we're not related to this game Abandoned or with Blue Box in any way, shape, or form. Doing that, I think, would clear the air quite a bit. You know, once you release an official statement like that, you're committing to saying, we're not screwing with you here, there is no connection with us. But the fact that, you know, so many entities who are being tied to this conspiracy theory aren't saying anything, that's not helping matters. Other oddities that Bloomberg points out is that fans discovered Blue Box claimed to have a team of more than 50 people working on the game, yet LinkedIn showed no employees other than Kahraman. Blue Box also said the game will be revealed through a PlayStation 5 application designed as an interactive trailer, which has never been done before. Also strange is that when Bloomberg asked Kahraman if he would be able to make other members of his team available for interview, he would not grant that request, and he could only identify one other developer in the team, would not identify any others. Kahraman also said that he has signed a contract with Sony, but wouldn't offer specifics. He also said the game was funded by investors, but wouldn't say who. There's a reason for that, he said, but I really can't talk about it. Now, it could very well be that Kahraman is trying to protect his team members because of all of this Kojima conspiracy craziness, but he could have, at the very least, you know, shown Bloomberg the identities of some of the team members and had that be done anonymously, so Bloomberg can at least say, I did meet with a few of the other team members, this is a 50-man team. They could that way confirm at the very least that there is a team there, and they don't have to actually disclose their identities. As far as the Sony contract goes, that could be under NDA, and it's something that maybe Kahraman can't disclose. And then finally, Kahraman apparently detailed 2 of the 6 or 7 outsourcing companies, among them being Noir Studio, a prominent art team that has worked with many AAA projects, and Decagon Studios. Kahraman did once again reiterate that he is planning to hold a live stream where he can answer people's questions about this whole conspiracy, so hopefully that can help clear the air a lot more about all of this. But the communication surrounding Blue Box, Kahraman, and Abandoned, the way that's being doled out, I don't think it's helping the situation if the goal is to assuage the conspiracy theories. I'll also remind you of this article from back in April 7th, 2021, where Jeff Grubb released this article saying Abandoned for PS5 is not a secret Hideo Kojima game. Apparently, Jeff Grubb, through some sources, learned that Kojima is in talks with Microsoft about publishing his next game, according to a source familiar with the matter, whereas, you know, Abandoned is a PlayStation exclusive title. So make of that what you will, but as far as the information we have right now on all of this since my last video, this is pretty much everything you need to know. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to conclude this video. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know in the comments below which side of the fence you stand on. Do you still think this is a Kojima conspiracy theory, or do you think that this is ultimately just an indie studio who got in way over their heads? Share your thoughts below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.